my tape do it? God, I hope we're recording this.
Oh shit, we are. Welcome everyone to the Break Knyte podcast, where we talk about being creative and all the things that inspire us to be creative. I am Craven Knight, the extreme assassin, professional wrestler, and overachiever in the world of making shit. And with me, as always, is the man directly in front of me, in front of this microphone that we've been having nothing but issues trying to set up, as it is ghettoized with scotch tape to make sure we can hear ourselves. Co-host, tell these people who you are.
I am the man with the master plan, one of the co-owners of Amberland Studios, and on this 50th episode of the Break Knyte podcast, I am your co-host, Sean the Man Slade. Now you might be wondering what beautiful song is playing in the background. It is the gayest song ever made, Bear Force One. If you've never heard it, definitely give it a listen. If you've never seen the video, please watch it. If you are gay, you will love it. If you're not gay, you will love it. This is just the greatest song ever.
I am digging it.
So that's my entrance music for this episode.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you said, I brought it to your attention. This is the 50th episode of the Break Knyte podcast.
Yes.
As the collective 50 that I've started since episode 1, that the first one I did with my girlfriend, where we're just kind of talking about different stuff, to now being a little bit more organized show that I'm doing with you.
With his girlfriend,
yes.
Talking about more
my
creative
girlfriend.
stuff.
Hey.
It's me now. Like girls though. Alright, so yeah. So yeah, like you were saying.
Yeah, but 50th episode and 1 year of doing this together.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
That's weird.
And it's been a fun year of doing this. I know we're not always consistent. As far like we try,
we've been doing it for a year. Nobody said we had to, do it every day for a year, or even every week for a year.
But it's not in demand. People
shove it, everyone.
No one really gives a shit about us that much.
Yeah,
but no, it's like
tell the truth.
We've been kind of holding back. I've been having a lot of personal shit going on that's been keeping me from focusing. Currently moving and all that shit, so it's kind of been making it tough to make time.
He's still
to do
creative
this.
though.
Yeah, definitely trying to stay creative and being creative, and because that's the thing that keeps me alive. And
that's right.
But yeah. This show is definitely fun. I enjoy doing it, and hope to really bring it out. And I don't say it as much, but I am the owner, as you say, you're the owner of Amberland Studios, or part owner, or and all that. Founding member. I am the founder and creator of Break Knyte Creative. I don't say that enough. And you can check out Break Knyte Creative on all the social medias and all that stuff. And you find me, I'll probably give you a card and talk your ear off about Metal Gear Solid.
He's
and
doing it
maybe some
right
wrestling.
now.
Fuck yeah, I am. Because this is my fucking show.
Yeah, you fucking tell him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna break into talk about creative stuff, movies,
yes,
toys, TV shows, and we always like to end it with some professional wrestling. But let's start off with some of the creative.
Yes.
Sean, what do you got?
Okay, well, I've been working on renders, so I did this one lady's face. There's that. I've definitely been working on that. I just finished my pinup of Guts, the Black
Faces
Swordsman.
Are hilarious.
That is my dude, one of my numero unos for sure. I love Guts, and everybody should know by now that I'm a huge Berserk fan. So I just felt like tooling around and messing around with more brushes in Photoshop. I got more fighting game characters on the way for my little project that I was doing. So my project is put just a little on hold right now, just because of personal reasons. But I got my next character coming up here in the next few days, so I'll be chopping that up here pretty soon. And then hopefully I'll be able to stuff in that little select screen here, give my little shot to that as well. Also working on planning and putting together a comic, or our third release if it ever gets done. We're probably just going to finish it up in-house, so I'm working on that as well. Also, we've been putting out writer excerpts that have come almost every other day from the other owner and creator of Amberland Studios, Tyler D. Hansen. That's the man. He can really write his ass off. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely check it out on our Instagram page. We are also available online in other facets. So we got that. Also, I have been tabling lately at the Midwest All-Star Wrestling shows, the MAW shows that are featured in Hudson, Wisconsin, as well as Minneapolis, Minnesota. So they're starting to expand as well. So more stuff coming in my future. I'm still working it out, doing some sketches, doing some random concept designs. Right now I'm just fooling around with what I would design a new Havoc to look like, just because he was like my favorite character growing up. Him and, the Summers brothers. So, I plan on doing some designs here just for fun, just for warm-ups, and then releasing that to the public.
I think what you need to do for fun, since you always keep you keep throwing out there that I need to do for you, what I need you to do for me is to design some dream wrestling gear for yourself. Do a rendering.
Yeah, that's right.
Do a rendering of yourself in the type of wrestling gear you would want. Because if there's anything I'm good at, is being a human 3D printer and
this is true.
And this producing exactly the types of images that you give me. Because if you're a wrestler and you want wrestling gear and you have a template image for me to work off of, or a good amount of examples or references, I can fucking produce exactly what you want, best to my ability.
That's right.
So, and I think it would be cool if Sean, you made some cool looking gear for yourself, and on a random Friday night, Saturday night, I can just fucking throw it together. It's like, here you go.
That would be so sick. I would wear it around the house. I would show all the my friends on the book face, on the Instagramos. I would definitely.
That'll be a separate Instagram on itself. Just Sean Iredale. Sean Slade walking around the house making food.
I think it would just be really funny if I just had promo shots of me in the gear, me coming out to a crowd, getting in the ring, doing moves, but really I never wrestled a match.
Yeah.
I'm just taking photos of me doing random moves and going, my return was great. Thanks to everyone for the support.
Just, and then everybody think they're there for a movie, like a wrestler.
And then I'll start a Patreon for them.
Like, I need people to pay me to walk out to the ring.
Yeah, and then if I get X amount of backers, I'll actually wrestle. Like, I need like 100 backers at like $5 a month in order for me to actually get to wrestle.
With your lucky to get in there with a Brock Lesnar wannabe, who is probably a good 50% of the indie wrestlers.
And then it'll shatter my ankles.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. more than anything. Hey, I would like to talk about my new venture into physical fitness. It's actually not new. I've always tried to be in shape, but now, everyone, let's round of applause. Round of applause. I'm 260 pounds now. 260 pounds. That's right. I am more so a donut in the center than I was before, but thanks to the Craven Knight workout program, I can finally bench like a person my size should start to bench.
Yeah.
So I can thank you on that. Thank you very much.
It's always nice to work out with somebody that, if on top of like kind of knowing what they're doing, considering I've been doing it for like fucking 13 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's nice to have someone there to kind of just see some of the stuff that you don't see or feel or notice yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like, kind of like, because I have the same habit of like bending my wrist a little too far back on the benches.
And that was my problem.
Yeah, and really gripping it well, which still to this day I still struggle with. Sometimes I just kind of do like a thumbs up thing on the bar to help keep me flat.
Guide yourself.
Because I sometimes feel like doing that, since I'm not gripping it, putting my thumb over the bar, I feel like it's just going to slip through and just fall on me.
So you just fear there. I get terrified.
And I get so content with my gym because I could set things up in very specific ways that I probably can't do in most gyms. So it's like, so I can do kind of like dead benches instead of, so what they are is just, if you're not familiar with it, but if you're a wrestling fan, I think when John Cena tore his tricep or his bicep, whatever the case, he tore a muscle in his arm, so he just started working out either way, but like, he was doing dead benches where there was a bar keeping the bar from, or at least the protection things on the side, keeping it from falling on him, so he didn't have to stabilize it. so much.
Oh, interesting.
So it's just like about chest level. So it stops right at your chest level, but you can just take your hands off and it rests on those safety bars, and then you can push it up. So you're allowed to yourself to do the hard push without having to worry about the balance, even though the balance is good for your core and all that stuff, but you don't necessarily have to do it all the time. It's nice if you want to go heavy and do that, you can rest it on the bar. And this is what I typically tend to do every time I go heavy. I let it rest on those safety bars for like a second, and then I push, get that really good push, and then a slow negative downward. So kind of doing little things like that, kind of showing you the slow negatives. And
it helps a lot. I don't want to dwell on too much for it, but, thanks.
So we got to do our own separate YouTube podcast just about working out.
That's right.
Which I think it would be, like, I've been debating on doing like a separate venture of like YouTube, like things of just like short 20-minute YouTube podcasts. I think
it'll happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely will. Like, it'd be fun to do that, and then doing like little commentaries for little things, just kind of niching out certain things instead of, we have the podcast where we talk about everything, but then the YouTube thing would be really cool to kind of like just throw some other content out there of us talk about other specific things and just talking about that one thing.
Yeah. So, I agree. So in that endeavor, I am now stronger and I eat twice as much. Thank you, Craven. Anyway,
Bench Craven, you eat so much more.
Yeah, it's so true, dude.
Yeah.
Next up, how are you on the creative ventures, my friend?
On the creative ventures, I've kind of opened up my schedule as far as
as
some
life and work.
Life and work, yeah. Like, I'm not gonna dive too deep on all that, but like, I have a little bit more time in my hands, and I'm diving into just getting back to people on commissions, and I have a lot of commission work for wrestling gear, which is great, and I felt like, full-time job is kind of holding me back and stuff, so I'm making time for that and trying to open up to doing other things so I can have more time to do my commission work and get back to people that I've otherwise ignored. And I don't ignore people. If you listen, I don't ignore you on purpose. It's only because I haven't had time. So, but no, like making the shirts, great practice for the wrestling gear, and it's also fun, like, to be able to think of an idea, as we all typically do. That should be on the T-shirt. I can do that. I'm that guy that can do that.
Yeah, I
can get like, blank T-shirts from Walmart and just put whatever I want and just cut the sleeves off and wear it at the gym and be that guy wearing a very goofy T-shirt at the gym.
My man.
And from what I experienced, just making shirts myself that otherwise don't exist, walking around the mall in a Metal Gear Solid T-shirt that I made myself really allows me to meet other Metal Gear Solid fans, because I got stopped in 3 different stores on top of being told by a person that, love your shirt, man. And someone,
love your shirt, bro.
Yeah, and then a guy pointing out my tattoo on my neck saying, "Oh man, I love your Dragon Ball tattoo." And then I get into a spiel of how I would give kids free wristbands for getting it on the first shot, because typically people can't guess what it is.
Yeah.
But when they know, it's like, you get a wristband. I don't have one on me, but if you're at a wrestling show, yeah.
Yeah, remember that, scumbags.
Yeah. So Eric always finds it hilarious because I'm just an open magnet for discussion at certain places, as I'm a walking conversation piece. And
this is true.
And
so that's part 1 of creative, is that you learn to talk more to people because you wear your own shirts.
Pretty much.
Oh, that's
like
good.
if you want to just if you want to meet people and have very long extended conversations in random places, wear shirts with shit that you like on it. If you don't want to redo that, no, make shirts with shit that you like on it. No, like I got stopped at 3 different places to talk about Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Survive and Metal Gear Solid 5 and all that stuff, which is really cool, because that is a subject I don't talk to a lot of people about, because not a lot of people are entrenched into the game as much as I am. But the making T-shirts is really fun. I have so many ideas that I feel like to aid my business, so the Break Knyte Creative, of being able to make a bunch of different stuff. I can just be a small little T-shirt business, not making shirts in bulk, but just making shirts that I have ideas for it. On a monthly basis, I come out with 1 or 2 shirts and sell those, and pretty much be like a T-Fury or a pop-up tee or something like that, where I make my own shirts and then I sell it for $25. You pay for shipping, and then Awesome. And then out it goes. But also it's been aiding my wrestling gear, allowing me to do a lot more cool, detailed stuff that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise, and knock out really cool-looking knee pad designs that I wasn't able to do before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been very lucrative and very fun, and I'm glad I'm able to have the time to do all of that. And just making shirt designs is so fun. Like, I got there's a thing I'll end on, but like the I was listening to a podcast, and one of the guys that I listened to, he said something about like one of the guys' weddings, and and this was like on the ETC podcast I was listening to, and there was one of the guys said something, were kids invited to your wedding? I was like, oh no, kids weren't invited to the wedding, but at the reception there were fines. Like, yeah, children, they should neither be seen nor heard.
Hey!
And I was like, that is going on a shirt. And I immediately messaged that dude or commented on there, and I said, hey, I am putting that quote on a shirt. If you want one, all you have to do is message me, and I'll send you one. But like, if they don't already get their own shirts made for themselves. Yeah. But like, no, that was just like a cool thing, because that's how I feel about kids, especially since I live with a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it should neither be seen nor heard.
Well, if they've seen the videos of what you do to that poor kid,
oh yeah,
I'm sure they'll understand your feelings.
Even though he's laughing and giggling, cackling through the entire process.
You're nothing but safe, my man.
Mm-hmm. And that shows you how fucking safe I am. How I can look like I'm destroying.
It's true. You aren't Rybacking your nephew. That's
I'm not. He's sandbagging me every now and then, but you know what? I can handle. I'm strong enough. I work hard enough in the gym to be able to pick up a 3-year-old and slam him on the floor.
I do have to bring up, because I'm very curious. Yeah. So how did the lady gear end up turning out?
She messaged me back, and she said everything came out great.
Yeah.
This was my second attempt at doing the women's gear, and I kind of held off on it for a while to just focus on, kind of the financial part of it, because this was kind of like a fixer-upper type situation.
Right.
Kind of like a redo. And
right.
I wanted to make sure I got all, 4-way stretch spandex for, everything that I needed to do. Mm-hmm. And as far as everything, I think everything kind of fit okay, because I went off of very specific measurements. Mm-hmm. I gave a diagram. It's funny, I used that model figure that you said you need one for yourself. I use that. I take a picture of it, and I draw on the picture of where I need measurements.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's just perfect.
That's all you need.
And then I just write it on a piece of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is what this portion, and then I put those numbers on the thing. It just helps. It just works.
It's a diagram, and then like you can show the perspective of what you need, the measurements.
It makes it clear exactly which part, instead of trying to draw it myself each time, because I can't find the drawing that I made a month ago.
Yeah, just don't bother.
Yeah,
not necessary. Just send that gimmick.
But yeah, she says some adjustments needed to be made onto it, and she has a lady that she can do that. But for the most part, it's perfectly fine, and she was happy with what she got. As long as she got it before WrestleMania, and she's not a WWE superstar. She's not a I don't think she's taking part in any big event that I know of. But like, she wanted it before WrestleMania. So she probably is part of some big event, but who knows? Yeah. Not WrestleMania, but like, don't think you're gonna see that.
Anyway, it could be a plethora of things.
Yeah,
because WrestleMania weekend is like huge for wrestling in general.
So, but yeah, I think it came out well. Like, there's certain things I probably would have wanted done different. It's just I don't have much experience with it. As women's gear scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I didn't even told her, I was like, women's gear scares me. But as we fix our microphone,
no worries. It wouldn't be an episode of the Break Knyte podcast if we couldn't fix our microphone or finagle it while we were talking.
Yeah.
So, other than the creative, what do we got next here?
We got let's see, some movies. We can dive into some movie talk.
Yeah. We can definitely talk some movie talk.
Yeah,
what you got there, Chief?
I finally saw Thor Ragnarok. I actually bought it on iTunes.
Yeah,
it was something I was kind of really excited to see, and the lady and I decided to just kind of sit back and relax and just watch a movie, and I purchased it on iTunes, watched it, and I loved it. I loved it for all the reasons you hated it.
I think you're a bitch for like it's okay.
Yeah,
I think
because I'm a filthy casual when it comes to the world of comics and Thor.
Yeah, filthy casuals.
Yeah,
what I consider to be,
which is a great podcast in itself. Go check that out too.
Which I consider to be the most man balls having character in the Marvel U over the past decade, over the past 10 years, was Thor. I mean, Thor has been written consistently. I really love Jason Aaron's writing. He's a fucking mammoth of a writer, and he can really show you like the emotion and the weight of a character and their situation. But when I watched Ragnarok, I personally was like, hashtag not my Thor. I had to be a bitch because I'm like, he's afraid of haircuts. I'm not a fan. However, I've already spoke my piece on this film. So I will not be a raging internet troll. Tell us some more of what you liked about it.
Okay, so number one, I liked the fact that it was pretty much almost like a parody of the other movies.
Sure.
Like, because the first movie was didn't take itself too seriously, but it was still fun and a great introduction to Thor. Granted, even though like the hair and stuff looked pretty silly in that one,
yeah.
but I really enjoyed that first movie.
I love the first one,
and I really liked the second one. I just felt like it felt victim into like, let's darken it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and I only saw it once in theaters, and I always want to buy it. And I want it because I remember liking it that much because I had Loki, and I fucking love Loki after seeing him in the Avengers.
Yeah, most people did.
Yeah, and I like the second one. I just, like I said, it fell victim to like, let's darken it up. And the second one, the third one was definitely just poking fun and at itself and at the other movies. And that's what I liked about it, that it's like it was able to get its story across while still just kind of being silly and fun and like this bright, like it just seems like like a parody kind of opera type thing. It's really hard to really put my own words on it, but like it just Jeff Goldblum's like this guy's an earthling, but like he's not.
Introducing Jeff Goldblum as Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, just being
Thor Ragnarok.
It's like these are actors you want to see in this world, and the ones that are silly, the ones that are serious, and like the ones that should be serious are silly. So it's just making fun of itself, and I really enjoyed that about it. That it was it just felt like a parody, and it felt like this is kind of what this kind of movie should be. And like, sure, there should be a cool version of this elsewhere, and I think it's kind of where, for like the comic book fans, I realize where like the animated versions kind of come into play for that sometimes if they're any good.
I think essentially by the end of this, Thor. I mean, this is a movie just to get Thor over. I think that's all it was. Hey, let's get everybody to see this movie. Let's make it something fun.
Yeah.
But I think in Infinity War, Thor isn't going to be high-fiving everybody and getting electrocuted every 5 seconds. Like
there's gonna be moments for that, but like
absolutely. It's a Marvel film. There's no way there's not. Like that's just how they work now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
No, I really
feed
like
the machine, you fucking mark.
Yes, I did really dig it. You see a movie recently?
Yeah, I saw. Okay, you haven't seen it, which I just found out. But this movie that came out recently, it's called Game Night. Definitely go see that movie. It is fucking hilarious.
Which I was thinking was a sequel to Date Night for some reason.
No, it's just
like great. A loose sequel in a way, but like it's probably like a spiritual sequel. But
you just gotta watch it.
Yeah,
I'll just say
it looks funny. It just looks like one of those funny movies that like I'll probably like Redbox this, or I'll probably watch it when it comes on Netflix. Yeah. But like
you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
I will say that. A lot of the jokes and
I think it's like what they're all convinced that like they're playing this big kind of Cluish type game that takes place all over the place, and they think like not everything is what it seems, so they're completely oblivious to all the real shit that's happening.
And that's exactly
what I get
what
from
happens.
it.
Yeah. You have the general consensus. You have the idea, but it gets. Yeah, it just gets hilarious.
That's awesome.
It's definitely worth a watch. So yeah, what about? Haven't you said you've been watching some TV shows, or you watched a TV show recently?
But I think when it comes to movies, we got to talk about a big thing: Infinity War, the trailer.
Well, yeah, we'll talk.
You want to get to that later?
Well, no, I guess we're on the Marvel topic. It makes sense. So the Infinity War trailer, I think, is pretty interesting because the other two trailers, well, the leaked one and then the official one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. That's it.
Really?
Then this trailer came out. I was like, oh, shit. I see you. I see you now. Well, you know what I mean? Like, I felt real good about this one. So, just because I think the biggest problem I have with... That's bullshit. I have a lot of problems with MCU right now. But one of the problems I think it's suffering from is the lack of weight when characters are in danger. This universe has gone on for a very long time now, and the amount of casualties is almost non-existent.
Really?
Yeah. When it comes to hero deaths.
Oh, when it comes to heroes. Okay.
When it comes to hero deaths. So I think, like, Now the
Because like it's like if someone dies, they either come back or they go to a TV show.
Yeah, right. I mean, for fuck's sake, you couldn't even kill Coulson.
Yeah.
And that was a good time to kill Coulson.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just, it's fine to take people out. Like, you know, in Civil War, I thought Civil War was pretty cool, but nobody died. Yeah. Somebody should fucking die. I'm sorry.
I think the closest we got a paralyzed fucking Rhodey.
Yeah,
barely paralyzed because Tony Stark can make him legs.
Yeah.
But then you got this chick in fucking Wakanda that can literally just make him walk without any electronics.
Right.
That's only 15, but it was probably like 12 at the time.
And I mean, now, other than Loki, the villains don't have real weight.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Because they're not... Most villains are non-threatening in the MCU. Mm-hmm. They don't mean shit. It's to get the heroes over, and then that's it. Nobody gets really excited for villains to come back or show up other than Loki because he's had the most screen time. Mm-hmm. But Thanos has been built as a threat that you shouldn't fuck with. So now we should finally be able to get a villain that is damn near untouchable on movie screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But when it comes to Thanos, I feel like, especially with the movies, it feels like it's been a lot of, like, all talk.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying... I'm not saying, like, absolute character development, but...
Because I feel like they probably could have done a lot better with Thanos as far as, like, showing how fucking scary of a villain he can be.
Right. I mean, people have to die in order to get this point across, I think, you know? Make some hearts drop, you know, get some heart-wrenching moments. I think you're definitely going to get that in Infinity War. If not, then they're squandering opportunities. Yeah. But you need to tug on the heartstrings now. You know, people are old enough, you know. If you take someone out, there's weight. You know, now other people are angry for other reasons, or people want vengeance, or, you know. So, and in Civil War, I think... there should have been a sacrifice in order to get over the fact that it's a civil war.
Yeah.
We should segue really into Black Panther.
Oh yeah, totally.
Black Panther. You and I both seen Black Panther.
Yeah.
What I think Black Panther does really well is not only establish a culture, but also they had a villain that had a lot of weight to him. Mm-hmm. You know, and there was even a casualty in the film. Spoiler alert, it was a villain, but it was still...
The movie made $1 billion. I don't think we're spoiling it for anybody.
Right, true. But it was a villain who I think should have stayed alive, of course. It would have been nice. Things, of all people.
It could have been like a really well done kind of Loki Thor situation.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's just... The motive was good. His attitude was good. The character, I thought, was well played. However, my beef with Black Panther more coincides... My little beef with Black Panther. I like that film. I'm not an absolute Marvel hater, everyone. I still think my top 3 superhero movies ever made is still Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. However, unlike Winter Soldier... This Black Panther had, I think, problems with its action and some of its choreography because some people were really good. You know, i.e. the woman that played
Michonne.
Yeah, I forget her name.
The lead of the Dora Milaje.
Yeah. She is amazing.
I forget her name. A lot of names are really hard for me to remember. I suck with names.
But you can tell she does action.
Like, you know, she does it. She does it well.
Mm-hmm. She conveys it really well. The way she does it. Chadwick Boseman felt really robotic in a lot of ways, and I don't know why a last fight scene with 2 guys in skin-tight Panther suits needed so much CG. Like, when you could have just got over on well-choreographed stuff and grit. I mean, fuck, man. And remember, like, the highway chase scene in The Winter Soldier. Like, that's some shit.
You mean in Civil War?
Or Civil War.
Yeah.
That's some shit, you know.
Well, because I just watched that like 2 nights ago.
Yeah. So, you know, when they're running down the highway and the car flips and shit. Or in Winter Soldier, one of the best fight scenes, I think, is when the highway where they fight each other in the middle of the street.
Mm-hmm. He's flipping the knives to his
hands. Just switching up the knives. He's hitting him into a van.
It's fixed on them.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not trying to hide anything.
Yes, exactly.
And that was my beef with the movie too, is that it felt like it was really trying to hide a lot of the fact that Chadwick Boseman couldn't really pull off that stuff himself.
Yeah, it just didn't look natural and it didn't look right. But we know that Michael B. Jordan can definitely do
shit
because of Creed and all the other films that he has been in. He's a real physical guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's fantastic. He was definitely top 3 parts of that whole film.
Mm-hmm. I love this charisma in the movie. Same reason I love Loki is I love his character.
I think that Black Panther thrives in the performance and the charisma of the performances.
Yeah.
You know, Chadwick Boseman has a charisma about him, a swagger about him. His sister has a swagger. Fuck, the little screen time his mother has. Swagger. And Buku, my second favorite character in that movie.
I fucking love that dude.
Has an amazing amount of swagger in his character. Like, everybody has it. Fucking Andy Serkis. Mm-hmm. Tons of swag in his character.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everybody did such a good job with their characters. No matter the lines given or the choreography given, the actors really shined in that film, and I think that's I think what made it the most enjoyable to me personally.
Yeah, and I got the IMDb set up here so I can get some M'Baku. I fucking love that dude, and I noticed that
I'm glad they don't call him Man Ape because that's his comic name.
Yeah,
but yeah,
like what did he say to fucking Martin Freeman? It's like
the vegetarian line.
I think so. Yeah, no, yeah, before the vegetarian line, but he's just like fuck. He called him something like, and then he said, "I'll feed you to my children."
Yeah, he's like, I'll feed you to my children. And he was like, I'm just kidding. We're vegetarians.
It's like, dude, that big ain't fucking vegetarian. That dude fucking smooth.
Yeah, it was great.
I fucking love those dudes. And his name is Winston Duke.
That's like his only real breakout role, I think.
Yeah, like he does a TV show. Where the fuck is it? He does a TV show, Person of Interest, I guess. He's on that TV show. And apparently he's going to be in Infinity War as well, so we should see him again. I dug his look. I love that he was just kind of like, you know how usually characters are, you're an artist, you know, characters are drawn very large, and you think that there's no way a person exists that's that big. He's fucking that guy. He's fucking huge. Well, he presented that big, and it's just like, just something about his presence on camera, just like, it's like my favorite character. He's not in all the movie, but he's my fucking favorite character.
Yeah, it's just when he shows up, he has a real commanding presence. Yeah. That and his inflection is great. Mm-hmm. I think the way he delivers his lines is real quality. I think it's something to be said to me when I think, don't get me wrong, I think Chadwick Boseman had a lot of swag. Like, he's got charisma. But I think when you compare him to the supporting cast of that film, he was like the weakest link.
He was. And you're not the only person to say that for sure. Like,
I mean, I like the guy. Do not get me wrong in any right, or, you know, do not get me wrong at all. But yeah, I just think it's Wakanda that stole the show. Yeah. Not fucking Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
That's just what I personally think.
Yeah, and I know even Mark Bernardin from like the Fat Man on Batman podcast, he has kind of like the same view that like Chadwick Boseman, like
Mark Bernard, that's the black guy.
That's the black guy. Yeah,
I think he's awesome.
He's awesome. I love it. I want more of him on the
also,
show.
Get well soon, Kevin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Man, I'm sure he's doing better already.
Oh yeah, he was fine just like hours after all that, and I think it was all the weed that he smoked that really kept him calm.
I'm sure.
But like he's doing just fine, but he has to be vegan now to try and cut out all the the
cholesterol.
It was from years of damage, and it's also hereditary and all that stuff. But no, I sent him a heartfelt tweet myself because I fucking love the guy. But no, like I think there should be more Mark Bernardin like talking about stuff because he even had a Fat Man on Batman round like Black Panther roundtable at the thing. Cool. And it's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's like a cool 2-hour podcast of them talking about Black Panther. And he's like the only one that kind of has some negative views on Black Panthers. Everyone else is kind of all in on the hype.
Sucking its dick.
Yeah, pretty much. But like
he had I remember. I'm sorry. Just real quick. I remember I was watching one of their live podcasts. You know, I think the Fat Man on Batman. And I think they were talking about maybe Justice League. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about how, like, these comic movies are changing the genders of and races of certain characters, and Kevin Smith loves it, and he's like, yeah, just turn Batman black. It's cool. It'd be cool. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
And then Mark Bernard's like, no, that doesn't work. He was like, why doesn't that work? And then the way he put it was like so perfect.
Exactly, he was like that it's things that a lot of people wouldn't think about, but it's like that makes total sense.
You don't think about it, but it's like Batman only works because he's white. He was born out of rich money, never faced oppression.
His old money.
Born out of old money. Never faced oppression, never been held down, decided to take law into his own hands. Things like that. It's like he was like, I'm sorry, but
you can't do that. With
a black man that's come out of old money. Let's be real here. The Waynes would have owned slaves. Yeah. That's a lineage that would not have changed. Yeah. So I was like,
Batman it wouldn't be Batman. It would be a totally different character. Yeah. So that's where you create a new character, which I think they already have probably a couple of characters like that.
I think, what was his name? Night Owl or whatever in the Authority, I think, who only saves black folks.
Probably.
God damn, that shit's great. But yeah. I mean, it's just I like him because he puts so many things into honest perspective.
Yeah, like he just has a great mind for writing. It's like, God, I can't wait until fucking either DC or Marvel puts a fucking thing in his hand, like puts a property in his hand.
I think he'd run with it really well.
Yeah, and but back on Black Panther, like and Mark Bernardin even said this about like Chadwick Boseman wasn't like he didn't steal the scene. Like every other character every scene that he was in, the characters he was with were the ones who stole the scenes.
Who stole it, not him.
And like his scenes with his sister, it's like I love the chemistry between that, like him and his sister, and that because like you can relate to that, to having chemistry with friends or family or whatever.
Exactly.
And and the whole like Black James Bond-esque ishness to it that it had. And then for me, I fucking marked out so much for just for the wardrobe and the costumes that were done.
Yeah, that's another thing that deserves high praise is the wardrobe. The costume designing, I think, for this movie was really well done.
Mm-hmm. It was like a lot of thought went into it. It wasn't just simple as like, this looks cool.
Yep, designing like a lot of thought went into it. Playing with the palettes, drawing from other African tribes and history. Like, there's lots of cool cultural stuff and vivid imagination that goes through it too. So it's just like
because like Ryan Coogler, who directed the movie, and I believe wrote it as well. Yes, he was I think he explained like the scene where they're at the casino in I believe in Hong Kong.
My favorite scene.
Yeah,
they're in Korea.
They're in Korea. Okay, so they're wearing all like you have Chadwick Boseman is wearing this really awesome looking black suit, and then you have Lupita Nyong'o, Nikita. She's wearing this really gorgeous fucking like black and green like dress and all that. It's like, oh my god, I would love to fucking just, I don't know what the hell I'd do with it, but I would love to have that fucking material. But right. And then Dinah Gurira, Okoye, terrible, yeah, Okoye. And she was wearing like this kind of like, I think reddish or orangish type dress or whatever, and it's like that the color scheme that they were wearing aesthetically on the screen was supposed to represent like kind of like I believe an African flag or some type of flag. Awesome. That was what the point of that like choice. So it was like just shows you like the thought process that went into the color schemes and the placement of everything in this movie. And it's like, so it's just so much more than just simply just writing a movie and just getting actors and putting it out there. It's like, and I love when that type of effort is put into that stuff. It's like when you really dive deep into certain stories and you learn that there's so much more to it than just simply it just being plastered, thrown right in front of your face. So so I really dig that. Just the costume designs, like the Black Panther costume was sweet, but I think I agree with you that like in Civil War.
Civil War suit killed it. I loved that suit. I thought that was really cool.
And the costume designer for the Black Panther suits, she said, I believe it was a woman, said that the suit was inspired by the Man of Steel costume, really, because you put them next to each other, they look very similar.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. So that a lot of inspiration actually came from the costumes from Man of Steel, and but yeah, the other characters in the movie really stole it, and there's even like a reference apparently like when the Black Panther and Killmonger are fighting underground. Mark Bernardin brought this up. That's like, yeah, they're fighting an underground railroad.
Yeah,
it's like
literally fighting.
That's fucking genius.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up,
man. But yeah, it was a very, very great movie, and I really just had issues with like when I was watching, I felt like there was something missing from it. It was something like I had I loved so much about it, but I felt like there was a lot missing from it, and I couldn't pinpoint it. And I think Mark Bernardin really kind of touched on it perfectly, where it's like, oh yeah, Chadwick Boseman just didn't have this air about him, this presence about him that really screamed that like he was a star of this movie, because he didn't steal anything.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
he barely showed weakness throughout the film too.
Yeah, he didn't have much weakness. It was really nothing. He wasn't really,
except for one time. But yeah.
He was only vulnerable because like his powers were taken away and he was beaten by Killmonger and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like he really didn't have any vulnerability at all.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing really holding back. Everyone else around him seemed to be a lot more vulnerable than him. So, which made everyone else a little bit more interesting. So I think that was really the kind of only little flaw in that movie. But other than that, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Shit, made it fucking $1 billion, which is like not a lot of movies can really say that, especially a comic book movie. And it's like this only means that like we're gonna put Black Panther in everything. So
yeah, he's gonna be the new Cap.
Oh yeah. So
I that's my guess.
Yeah. So now we're done with the movie section. I think we can dive a little bit into we can go into TV a little bit. I've been watching just a little bit of Netflix. You know me, I don't really sit down and watch a whole lot of TV. Mm-hmm. But now that I have a little bit extra free time, I've been just kind of throwing some stuff on, checking out what's out there. I tend to be just all over YouTube all the time. But there's a show called Ugly Delicious. That
right, yeah.
As you, if you have Netflix and you ever put it on, you notice that every time you go on there's a new fucking show of some sort. And Ugly Delicious is like just another niche show that's just like a cool docu-series type thing. So it's like they're like 45-minute episodes, each episode about a specific type of food, and it dives into the history of the food and the evolution of the food and like the differences in between the different varieties of food. So say like the first episode.
I'm so fucking hungry, dude.
I know. And
go ahead.
Fucking get food
just
after
keep talking.
This. But like. But like the first episode dives into pizza. What better fucking first episode I have about food than to fucking talk about pizza?
Yeah, and we're the lords of pizza. I mean, I'm not saying anything, but we're probably gonna eat that after this.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I'll probably just make you that shirt and make my life easier.
Oh, sounds good, dude.
Fucking reps for pizza.
Sounds good. Actually, I was honestly thinking that I just want I want the shirt to just be a fucking slice.
Just a slice.
Just a slice.
Oh yeah, and I remember that idea you gave me for the Hey Girl, Can I Get a Slice?
Hey girl, can I get a slice?
Oh yeah. But no, like fuck, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the Ugly Delicious. So like first episode about the pizza, and just has a bunch of and a guy who's doing it. He owns a restaurant. I can't remember his name, but like he owns a restaurant, and he just had.
It wasn't Chef Chang, is it? Oh, go ahead.
Maybe
you know, Chef Chang was in Mind of a Chef first season, and I thought that was amazing. And it
could be him. He is Asian. So yeah, he just talks about how like he just hates how people can be very snobby about food, saying like, because especially with pizza, you go to a lot of true Italian folks where you just hear them talk about pizza, how like, oh, pineapples on pizza, that ain't pizza, that ain't this and that, but they're just they're really they're dicks about it.
I work in food, spoiler alert, and really there's a lot of turnoffs to me about food, especially to how pretentious the culture can be.
Remember we had a discussion before that, like, you're talking about how, like, just food in general is very, and that's the case for a lot of things, like, especially wrestling. It's like, but there's a lot of pretentiousness in food.
Yeah. I mean, the culture of food and, like, the way, in the direction it's going now is far better than before. But, you know, don't knock somebody because they like to eat the same thing over and over again. That's good to them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, if I'm going to roast you, I'm going to roast you. That's just how life is. Yeah. You know, I'm going to roast you if you keep eating Little Caesars because the shit's disgusting and it turns to concrete if oxygen touches it for more than 5 minutes. I think that's hilarious. But I'm not going to go out of my way and make a blog post about how you prefer this over, you know, a coal-fired pizza with a fucking half-inch thick crust that's been fired just right with imported mozzarella. Like, that all sounds delicious, but that's delicious to the people who can afford it.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Because to be a foodie and to be into the culture of food like that, it's a lifestyle. You know, unless you work in it or you can afford to eat and do it yourself, don't fucking talk to me about it. You know what I mean?
Because the people who can afford to get it, number one, are reading reviews or hearing about the people who are just eating it for free talk about how good it is.
How good it is. Yeah,
Because they're getting it for free. They're getting it catered to them so they can try it and talk about it. Just, you know, really put over their restaurants and stuff.
I think the best... That's why I love mid-tier restaurants, and I love it when people just decide to go out and eat food at places they haven't been before.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. Yeah. Because I suspect...
Which I think is great that, like, when we do, like, usually when we finish doing podcasts, we just hit up a restaurant that's nearby. That's usually I would never go to because I'll just gravitate towards the same fucking shit.
Yeah,
but I'm glad that I'm able with you to explore, which I know my girlfriend's fucking jealous of because I never know where to go. Boo. But, like, I get to explore. Like, these are places you're familiar with, but they're places I've never been to. And
shout out to Nelson's Deli.
Yeah.
That shit's flame.
Oh, oop, phone
call. But exactly.
It's fun to explore and try some different foods, and like I think this documentary series of, you know, Ugly Delicious, it does have David Chang. That's him.
Yeah, Chef Chang. Chef David Chang. Okay, cool.
So it's him just going through stuff. Even in the first episode, you see him going through like Domino's pizza delivery runs with them, and just like having them make different pizzas and just eating them while he's like at the place, but then going out with them.
Awesome.
And all that. And it's just like, and he says how much he loves Domino's pizza and how, like, you know, asking some pizza experts or pizza snobs like how they feel about Domino's and blah blah blah. It's like, and me, I fucking love Domino's pizza, but it's like, it's, you know, because it's convenience. And but I'm in and out of Domino's because sometimes they change the recipe or whatever the case, and it tastes different. As long as you find a good mesh. Me, I'm a less cheese, more sauce type of guy.
Yes, me too.
I fucking love, and when you get like
especially if your sauce is good, that's huge.
And I think Domino's has a really good sauce on top of like the garlic, which they calm down on the garlic on the crust and stuff.
Because
once they started that, it was like this is straight up like dipped garlic bread.
It was just garlic dust.
Yeah.
At that point,
and it was like it became too much for a while because that's all it was. But now it's calmed down. It has that garlic flavor, but it's not too much. And then you have the sauce that is really good, and I'm very much like my typical Domino's pizza is like, and usually when you get pizzas like that, they're always better in bigger sizes. So if you get a medium, it's totally different than a large. So I tend to get like a large, light cheese, extra sauce, pepperoni, and bacon, and American bacon. On there, and it's fucking delicious, and I fucking love it. I have to fight to not finish the whole thing. But no, I think the show is great. The second episode is about tacos and stuff, evolution of tacos and the culture. That it just all the work that goes into it, and I'm definitely not doing the show justice, but I think it's definitely worth checking out. And definitely Netflix has a bunch of different documentaries, docuseries that are just built up from Netflix themselves that are about niche topics that are really interesting.
Now, I mean, Netflix is $1 billion company now, and they literally throw money at new concepts and ideas. It's the future of TV.
Yeah.
They plan within the next 10 years to release like 700 new shows and content. So I mean, really, it's endless.
I think I watched a movie last night, and it had a guy named Jake Johnson. He's on the show New Girl. He was also in Jurassic World. He was the dude that wore the Jurassic Park shirt in the movie. That guy, Jurassic World. I love that dude. I think he's hilarious. But he's on this movie called what the fuck? I forgot what it was called. Fuck. But I'll search it as I talk. But it's about him being addicted to gambling, but he just doesn't admit that he's addicted to gambling.
Right. I believe it.
And he comes into a situation where this dude that he knows he's going to jail, but he gives him a bag, and he doesn't know, but he doesn't tell him what's in the bag. I just need you to hold on to this for about 6 to 8 months and all that. And let me see if I can find it. If you're Win It All, that's what it is. It's called Win It All. It's a Netflix original movie, and he gets a bag, and he's like very curious about it because he's very much just kind of living. Every bit of money he makes, he's gambling with it, and he loses it. So he's notorious for losing money every time he gambles.
Oh, okay.
Again, I don't know if it's black. I don't think it's black. It must be Texas Hold'em. That's his game. But he's always fucking losing money, and he comes into this bag that then the bag has probably thousands of dollars in it. Mm-hmm. And it has some random items in it, like a fucking hammer and some rope and whatever, and some zip ties.
Dropped him off with some fucking GTA shit.
Yeah, and he's just supposed to hold on to it, and he, Jordan Peele? Mm-hmm. Oh, no, is it Jordan Peele? Where the fuck is he on this? Oh, Keegan-Michael Key. He's like his sponsor in the movie, and he talks to him trying to get advice, and he just kind of says like, dude, like, I'm not your sponsor because you haven't been to a fucking meeting in this long, and like, you only get me to come to random diners so you can not feel guilty about asking, or try to not feel guilty and hope that I would approve on your dumb decisions when every time you gamble you lose. You need to stop and all this shit. And then he ends up taking $500 from the thing. He ends up winning big with it, doing really good, and then he starts losing and losing and losing. And it's just one of those where it's like, okay, this is very interesting in the beginning, and the middle is kind of okay, and then it's kind of tense towards the end, but it just has like a very kind of like, okay, it ended like this. Okay. But I think it's a really cool movie to watch. But also I was editing my new wrestling theme music as I was doing it. So like towards like halfway through. But well, I think that's it's just, just Netflix just coming out with these original stuff. They tend to be just very worth time for the most part.
I mean, a lot of times when these things come out, there's a surrounded hype by them. Mm-hmm. It usually just takes a week for all your friends to watch the newest Netflix trend. Yeah. And then if they like it, they'll tell you. If they don't, they'll definitely tell you. But at this point, I don't watch it upon release on the fucking app anymore. I just wait for everybody to open their mouths about it because, somebody's going to tell me if I have to see it or, if I don't.
Yeah.
So there's that. So between Netflix and HBO, TV's on lock.
Yeah.
So I would like to move into some toy stuff.
Toys.
Just cause
the sound bit. Everyone just pretend that there's a sound bit of the Toys R Us commercial of "I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid."
We are Toys R Us kids.
There you go.
So the news is that Toys R Us is going out of business. They're finally gonna liquidate their shit. Mm-hmm. Fingers crossed for like 200 stores to stay open and get bought out. But essentially, the company that took over Toys R Us accrued a bunch of debt. Like, we're talking in the billions. And there was no fucking way for Toys R Us to ever get out of the giant rut that it was in. So, it's been dying a slow death, which is sad because if it didn't accrue all this debt already, I think it would be in a really good spot. Mm-hmm. The reason why I share this, and this is kind of a big deal, is because Toys R Us is one of the only big toy dealers that aren't small local shops or collectible shops. Now, do not get me wrong. You should always go to your collectible and comic shops. Mm-hmm. I support them more than anything. But the thing about Toys R Us is it was a place for smaller companies, to try and make sales on a bigger scale so they can keep doing what they do. So that they can keep costs low, they can keep mass production high. For example, they started putting SH Figure Arts in there finally. Yeah. NECA was selling all of its, Predator brand stuff, Alien brand stuff, lots of collector-based stuff that was starting to come out there. Marvel Legends is starting to get far more predominant there. So different series of Marvel Legends were coming out by the waves. But now, with Toys R Us vanishing, there's going to be less and less risks taken from your Targets and your Walmarts because they don't take risks on, say, for example, I collect WWE Elites, specific ones, guys that I love in the business. But a lot of them are hard to find. And a lot of that is because your Targets and your other retail stores that do sell toys don't run a high budget on buying stuff. They don't want to take high risks.
And it's funny because, being someone that has worked in retail, spoilers, I don't know why I'm saying spoilers, but I worked at fucking Walmart forever.
Yeah, word.
And I was since being a toy collector, of course, I collected Elites. I pretty much just want to have everyone but in Elite form. So I wasn't collecting specific ones. Now I'm at a point where I will probably get specific ones, pretty much the defining moments. I got the Jericho with the Undisputed titles.
Nice.
So I got that one. I got it on Amazon, and then I fucking saw it at Toys R Us the day after I bought it.
Right.
And
this shit happens.
Yeah, but I really want the Austin with the smoking skull and all that shit. Those seem to be the only ones, the kind of nostalgic ones for me. But no, the working at Walmart, what I do being a collector, because my Walmart sucked when it comes to really getting anything in. The Elites were very minimal, and just any other figures, they don't have the same amount of Power Ranger stuff. You'll find a really cool looking Power Rangers toy here, at this one Walmart, but you never find it at this store or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had access to the computer and be able to see when certain orders are coming in. So that's when I'll see. That's really what I relied on my store for.
Yeah.
It's for Elites.
But a lot of people don't. They can't rely on that stuff.
Yeah. And I was able to see when certain orders were coming in, when I knew when the truck nights were, I was able to see the report. And
that was the only way you could get your hand, because you knew everything.
Yeah, I knew everything, and I knew that okay, if Walmart wasn't making money on certain items because these toys typically were getting stolen, or they would buy them, return them, or whatever the case, and get their money back. Some cases they'll get stolen and then returned, because sometimes Walmart just let you do that, and you'll find a wasp. You'll find a wasp figure in a fucking action figure case for a fucking, I don't know,
Hulk.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Because the people at service desks do not know any fucking better.
Yep,
which
correct.
is horrible. And it's stuff like that you collectors out there do that, and you steal your figures and then you return them, that is causing them to not exist in that store anymore.
But also, I don't think that's a lot of collectors per se. I also think that's, as a kid, I was doing stupid shit like that too.
Yeah.
You try to get a one-up.
But I don't see a lot of kids buying and returning.
That's true. You got to be an adult to do so.
You steal. The kids are the ones. I did this too. The kids are the ones that steal out of the case and leave the case on the shelf. Or they go into a department that there's no one. True. I worked in the furniture department too a long time ago, and that's where I always find a lot of stolen garbage, because nobody was in the furniture department.
Yep.
So you'll find stuff in the suitcases and all that. So,
I believe that.
But the people who are collectors who think they're slick or think they're cheating the system ones, they're grown adults who will have the money to buy a figure and are cheap enough to return it to get their money back with a different figure.
With a different figure, because they're assholes.
Yeah.
Yep, you are right.
Yeah.
With Toys R Us having a history of good traction with a lot of different companies, they would release Toys R Us exclusives.
Yeah.
Right? Well, those exclusives aren't going to be exclusive anymore. No. Now that Toys R Us is going out of business, so you don't get that kind of stuff. And granted, this is the day and age of Amazon, where adult collectors just buy online anyway.
I'm the Amazon guy.
However, if I know a lot of collectors, shout out to the Toy Posse, I know a lot of collectors that have kids, and a lot of those collectors, kids follow in the footsteps of their parents. So there are sales to be had when a child walks into a toy store, because they aren't researching online the specific version of said figure that they want. You just bring them in and you see what they like, and if they like it, you buy it for them.
Yeah.
That day and age is few and far between now when your Toys R Us's are going out of business. Yeah. So it's just memories are going to be lost. I miss the Black Friday days and shit. You know, things are different for everybody, but
yeah, I used to love, like, I used to have days back when I actually had the time. I wasn't being very creative, but like I loved collecting my wrestling figures, and I loved store hopping like crazy. Yeah, and hunting.
The hunt was a lot of fun back in the day.
When you feel like you're the only person in the world looking for it, and you realize there's a giant community of people getting to those things before you.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
It's stressful, and I go to look down the aisle, and it's like, I don't care if I've been to the same Walmart like 3 times because it's right up the road in the same week. I'm just like, I go down the aisle, I'm always curious, and like, oh, they got some Elites today, and those weren't here. Yep. And it's like, I don't really care about these guys, but whatever. And then I come in 2 days later, and it's like, fucking Toy Posse.
Yep.
They done did it.
They done did it
Which
again.
I had a couple of dealings with a couple of guys from the Toy Posse getting some stuff from me, and I still got some more stuff to sell. I'll probably just have to repost it.
Same.
But
mind you, we'll talk more after. But there's a swap on Sunday, and I'm thinking we should go.
I got time.
I think we should go, and I think we should just pack up all the stuff that we have, and then see if they'll shoot us. I'm
just wondering what I have. Like, I don't have a lot of stuff worth selling, but I got quite a few things I would love to get rid of, and see what other stuff I could probably just get rid of for the fuck of it. But
yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at, because I think there's a lot of stuff that people move video games, people move comics. Why not? But yeah, I just thought it was worth a mention, just because how much I that Toys R Us meant to us as kids.
We have to go and start a shrine, like all the Toy Posse get together, start lighting candles,
out of Legos, and then
I remember just being, and I'll probably mention this before, I remember being so fucking heartbroken when I walked into the Bloomington Toys R Us, and it's like, it's all just kind of circled off from whatever they have left, and it's probably been like 2 months since I've been there, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? It's like, it's closing. I'm like, since when?
Just sleep. Nobody knew.
You can just stand there in one spot and just look, and like nothing, and just walk out.
Yep, it's sad.
It's very sad, and it's like sad. The only ones I got is fucking Burnsville and
I'm hearing rumors now that KB Toys is about to go back in business,
which I find very interesting.
Perplexing.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think it's probably a really good move if that is something that they plan to do, to pick up all the licenses and distribution and stuff now that Toys R Us really leaves. Good. Because then I think, if you can get a company that starts up that isn't buried in debt, and can pick up at least the decent sales that Toys R Us could still have. Do
you remember the story behind like KB? Was it just
no? I just it's just rumor. There's some.
Well, I mean, like back in the day, like why it closed down.
I think just bankruptcy, same old shit.
Same shit.
Because back then there was a FAO Schwartz, there was KB Toys, there was Toys R Us. There was competition. Yeah. And Toys R Us was head over heels doing better than everybody else. Yeah. But in the long and short of it, there was. They couldn't fight juggernauts. Yeah. But yeah. I just thought that was worth a mention. We'll have to see how the future.
It's like it's just been feeling like, and I said this before we started recording, that like it just feels like it's been going on for so long. It's like I get it. Just go. Just like my heart's already broken. Stop trying to break it every day.
An old Yeller, kind of shit.
It's like I feel it. Most of the time I don't really find what I'm looking for at Toys R Us. It's rare. It's rare that like I feel like I have enough money to just simply just drop on like a SH Batman, Dark Knight Batman, and a Vegeta, and like getting a bunch of stuff from a girlfriend that she would like or whatever. It's rare that ever happens, and I usually go to the same section as we all do, as the really cool toys, and then the next aisle is fucking Hot Wheels and all fucking role play shit. It's like no one cares about this stuff.
No one cares.
But But yeah, it's very sad to see it go, and like, you know, it got some memories, but you know, we live in a new age. It's really kind of sad that like kids aren't going to experience, you know, just walking into like a big toy store and just like looking at stuff. And
yeah, I remember, and that's what I'm saying. I was well, you know, never say never. We're not.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's just that
now it's just going to be them.
The name's going to change.
Yeah, now it's going to be them just buying 100 Batmobiles on accident, pressing a fucking Amazon button.
Yeah,
or just saying the wrong thing.
Or you know, or just kids are gonna stop playing with toys completely, and it's just gonna be our old
just
asses.
Watching them.
It's just
kids watching videos of other kids playing video games, which literally I saw my nephew doing. Just watching a video of a little kid playing.
Little kid shit.
Playing with toys.
Oh,
and he's just having a fucking good time.
Wow, I don't know.
Which I've heard stories of this. I've never actually seen it myself.
I don't know, man.
That's like,
Inception to me.
It's nuts.
That's too much.
But then again, it's like I watch it differently. Like I try not to be in the same realm of like I'm just gonna watch Twitch and watch other people play video games. I'll watch gameplay stuff, but that's mainly for me to get my video game fix without actually having to press the buttons myself. Yeah. But it has nothing to do with somebody else being on the screen or me enjoying watching a person play a video game.
I mean, Twitch is such a huge media now, just because. I mean, fuck, Impact Wrestling's on Twitch.
Yeah, it's more than just video games now.
I mean, Twitch is, I think, a very necessary app to have, and
it's funny enough, I get it ad free because of Amazon Prime, and I don't even use it much.
Yeah,
and so I'm able to watch stuff without having to worry about commercials and all that. But
that's really cool.
It's it's a really cool thing to have. I just always forget it. But then it's like, oh yeah, I can watch some Metal Gear Solid gameplays when they're on here. But then again, I can just but then I can just watch them on YouTube too, which I pay for YouTube bread.
But the cool part is that, you know, there's past videos on channels on people, so you can just go in to their past streams and watch them from there.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of times, I'd say about half the time. Stuff takes a while for it to get uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah.
For them, they don't do it right away for, I assume, the same reasons you would, you know, whether it be uploading or time. And you can't do it simultaneously.
You can't rely on the system to just not fucking fall apart.
Yeah.
It's like trying to upload, so you have to redo it.
So if they have a Twitch channel, it's just so much easier to subscribe to that.
Yeah.
But back on the toy stuff, I might as well talk about my joyous acquisitions.
Of course.
So I've been on the hunt lately for the most recently released 112 collective Mezco Deathstroke figure, which I'm sure all of you know I am a huge Deathstroke mark, and
it is a fantastic looking figure. I love how the helmet looks. The others, like the blue side or the gray side. Yeah, it's a blue side. It makes me think of like a mask from Metal Gear Solid 4 for some reason, just the way it is. You know, but it looks really cool.
We've brought it up before, and it's like one of my favorite reasons to like this company is that they do their own personal designs that are original for characters that are familiar, which is what I like to draw. So essentially, I get toy versions of exactly what I like to design, which is alternate costumes and ideas and outfits for figures. And I mean, they nailed it on the Deathstroke, I thought, for a concept. And I'm like, it's close. It's very close to my favorite design, which is still the Arkham Origins video game version of him.
Yeah.
But it's still traditional. It's not like over designed. So
and it's funny because I always credited SH Figure Arts being the type of version of an action figure I wanted when I was a kid, when really Mezco is it, because I was always fucking a mark for cloth,
just
cloth, like the clothing and capes. Like for some reason I was obsessed with getting that cape wet. Sorry, like just having a scenario.
So dope.
It would look cool if it was just fucking wet. Just dip it in the fucking bath.
You know, it's crazy. You know, if I was a kid and wire capes existed back then, I would have shat my pants.
Which I thought was hilarious. You tagged me in that one post.
Where the guy's making them for not the same figures and the same way I asked for you to do mine.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
If just quick review of this motherfucker, he's the shit. And he was sold out across the board. I couldn't pre-order him anymore. He was sold out at all the collectible shops. Went to Cedar Cliff Collectibles, talked to my boy Steve, and he got me the hookup, and I got his very last one. So I'm very happy with the outcome, and I really like the fact that even the cloth doesn't hinder a lot of his movement, like barely at all. So the detail is there. He comes with tons of accessories. It's probably got the best stand out of any figures.
It's freaking unnecessarily huge and amazing.
Yeah, and it has.
Like he doesn't need to be at that height, but it's perfect.
It's sweet, yeah. And then it has their logos on it. They come with their own special Ziploc bags that you can write the bottoms on for their accessories. Comes with the unmasked head. Comes with the whole nine. Like it's great. And then number 2 in the house of hotness is I finally got my pre-ordered Storm Collectibles Alex figure. Yeah, that's my baby. That's my boy. That's the one I suffer day in, day out playing. He's the shit. He can do all of his shit. If you guys follow my personal Instagram, you guys would know that I have a problem and that I post him. Most people
post pictures of them with their cats
or their kids
or their gross. But you're posting pictures posing your action figures. Yeah, I'm sorry. As you should, as a grown man who loves toys.
I don't even fucking care anymore, man. Yeah. As long as he's got a moveset, he's gonna keep doing it to this fucking the really awesome Storm Collectibles Bison that I got that is green and gold that I was stoked to get. However, he does not win over my main in my reality. So that's I'm super happy to have him. The funny part is the sculpt is he's a little thicker than I think he actually is in game. Okay, but I don't
scale wise with like the other figures.
Well, or the other characters. No, just like actual like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like actual sculpt wise, like I think
they're very generous with him.
He is. I'd say. I don't know. I'd say he weighs about 50 more pounds than he does in the game. But I am not bitching. He looks awesome. Definitely right now, Storm and Mezco are tippy topping it right now as far as companies and toys go. They understand quality, detail, and quality control even. If you have a problem with any Storm collectible figure, you show it to them, you send the picture to them. You ship it back. They'll send you a replacement like that.
Nice.
They're really good about their QC, so that's really awesome. And from what I hear, I think Mezco is too. So yeah, it's amazing. If they have enough confidence in their figure that they just send you the new one and say, "Hope you like it." It's like, fuck, thanks, man.
Yeah.
So yeah. Kudos to that.
Fuck yeah.
So we should probably close out with a little wrestling.
Wrestling. Fuck yeah.
A little wrestling. What do you got on the personal end? You got any shows coming up, my friend?
I do got Steel Domain coming up this month.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I'm wrestling some American masked dude, I think.
American mass?
Let me see.
Oh God.
I'm gonna look at the poster.
I hope he's swole.
Look at the poster.
Rob Mass. Is that his name? I don't know. I think that's a guy.
I'll have to pull it up on my phone. But just some.
So you got
I got a show.
You got a show lined up this month.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Here it is. Mr. USA. That's close enough.
Good enough. Never seen him.
Mr. USA, and but like the last show I did for Steel Domain, I got to wrestle Brandon Gore.
I'm sure that went well.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
I think you watched the match.
Yeah,
it was,
I did.
There's two versions of it. You got the Michael Earl Pam version, and then you got the fully produced version.
Did I? Yeah. Oh, man. Thank God. I got recently involved in an MAW interview with my favorite. Okay, so right now I have two favorite wrestlers in the world. One being the Extreme Assassin Craven Knight, and the other being Wild Pete. Those are my two favorite wrestlers in the world right now, and you will be happy to know that I was on a MK Just Mike interview from the most recent show, and I just said that my dream match was to watch you two wrestle, and I think he needed some toilet paper.
Oh yeah, he got pretty excited.
So excited.
Let me tell you. I got to see that, and I saw how excited he got. And Michael Earl Pam's always been a supporter of mine, and big fan of mine. Always screaming at my shows, and it's always fun to be able to wake up the next morning and see that the match that I had the night prior that he happened to be at.
Don't you worry. There. I can't. Well, when Leonard Literacy was on my couch just chilling here like an idiot,
as he does,
with his ankle iced, I was like, oh, what what happened? He was like, I took a rough kick and my legs went out from underneath me. I was like, oh, man, that sucks. So he was like, all right, man, I need to go to bed. I was like, all right, man, go ahead, go to bed. So he goes to sleep, and then I turn on my TV. I go to YouTube. I subscribe to Mike, and sure enough,
you get to see
there's
exactly.
the match.
There it is.
Hours later.
The answer to your question, no words
so,
required.
If you ever wanted to know what you look, if you are a wrestler and you wanted to know how your match looked, just go on Mike's page. It's on there.
Yeah, I'm happy.
After the bell rang.
I'm happy to have him as like a source for being able to just critique myself and see what I can do differently. And it's because I'm able to.
It's a helpful tool at this point.
Oh yeah, especially like when I kind of started diving back into the idea of getting back in the ring a little bit more and doing some more gear for myself and all that. I kind of just rediscovered some videos of myself, like. And it's not that I enjoy watching myself. I just enjoy being able to see what I could do differently. And, which is always great because I like to just kind of judge myself and just try and change some things up if necessary and see how my body moves when I do certain movements and all that. And it was cool to see matches that I've never even gotten to watch before. And, and it's like, oh my God, it's actually kind of exciting. So I think I spent probably about 40 minutes to an hour just watching matches I've never seen that I had. And it was really fun. And it's like, oh my God, these are actually pretty good. And they have moments that I really enjoyed. And being able to watch my match I had with Brandon Gore, it was really cool because I was really excited about the match when it was done. It was put over on commentary, at least not in the Michael Pan version, but in the produced version for Steel Domain. It was put over, just me being the skilled veteran and, having my time in, and Brandon Gore being like the, kind of the up and coming, superstar and being a great athlete and all that stuff. The typical stuff you probably tell in commentary in that type of situation, that context. And that's why I kind of told him, and I really wanted to get that fire in him because it's like, dude, you're a fucking athlete. Everyone knows you're an athlete. I think you need to show a lot of character and emotion, and that's what I was really trying to get. The story in the match was him just getting emotion from from me, just like he's skilled. He has more skill than me when it comes to wrestling, but I have more experience and that's all the shit. But and I really wanted him to really present this emotion a little bit more that I felt he could have done better. But other than that, the match itself was really great. And it's just really cool to just have that. So I appreciate my girl Pam for letting me wake up on a Saturday morning to see my Saturday or Sunday morning to see my matches that I had the night prior.
Who needs cartoons when you got your own prior matches?
Yeah. So yeah, Steel Domain will be wrestling for them. I have a good relationship with the guys. Besides being a good guy or a bad guy, doesn't matter. You see what you get, and even to say on commentary, it's like with Craven Knight, you never know what you're gonna get.
That's right.
Because I can be whatever the fuck I want to be. I can either be there or I can not be there. I could be making your gear. I could be kicking your ass while you're making your gear. I can kick your ass while making and wearing your gear. So
accurate.
Yes. So it's fun to be that like multi-threat type of person. Be able to kick your ass, make you a table, make your gear, make you a movie prop just because I like you, and then punch you in the face afterwards.
Dead in the face.
Right.
I look forward to the end of this podcast where that happens to me. So
what's going on?
I want to know your thoughts on the most recent the little drama that WWE is having with the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal.
Yeah, I think honestly, I did not know any of the details of all that stuff.
And I did prior to this happening,
okay.
So I thought that was interesting.
Nice. But no, I heard about it, and I'm just like, and I'm on this Facebook page for the podcast Listen to RBR, which I think is a great fucking podcast, but it's like a 3 to 4 hour podcast.
Takes some time,
but like
this one's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but no, it's I think we're done after this. But let me get some fucking food. But but no, they were talking about that stuff, or no, on the I think somebody commented, it's like, what the fuck? They're still talking about Fabulous Moolah, and I'm like, oh, they just announced the Moolah Battle Royal thingy in her honor, blah blah blah. And then people started going off on a tear about it, and I'm like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? And I never knew any of that stuff, and then I started seeing more and more stuff. It's like, wow, why the fuck would they do this? So, I get that as far as like legendary women in professional wrestling. She is the most iconic. I don't want to say iconic, but she's the most like notable, most relevant because they've used her so much, along with Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young always together and all that stuff. But like, yeah, it's just very interesting to learn about that stuff, and I find it very good that they. Stephanie McMahon announced that they are changing the name. I guess it was a hashtag to change the name.
Yeah. And it's important because, she didn't do great things.
Well, it's like when you have Triple H state, like, on a podcast. I think it was on Austin's or Jericho's podcast. I think it was on Austin's. When you have Triple H himself state that reasoning why we can't induct Chyna into the Hall of Fame is because when you Google her name, what will pop up? And all that stuff. And then, which I get, but it's like, that's not really a justifiable reason because you can do that same shit for a lot of people. You have Shawn Michaels, who you glorify, who's on the cover of Playgirl magazine. And you've had women on your roster, or you have women who pose for Playboy too. Have done things. And you have one of your main dudes whose dick pic was out there in the world. And all this stuff, and even Coach, who's been accused of all this stuff, like all these sexual harassment allegations, all that stuff. It's like you can't really use that. And Triple H said this like a long time ago, but when you say that stuff, is really you can't also be aware of these terrible things that a woman that you're glorifying, and giving her a battle royal at WrestleMania. Just so you can have the women have their own memorial battle royal, and now you call it something generic, but it's like it's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, I think it's at the very least it's very interesting.
Yeah,
it's just so bizarre to me. Like, but whatever, they did the smart move. I think the Chyna thing is really tough, just because you can just say, what was her name, Joni Laurer. You say, we're inducting Joni Laurer into the WWE Hall of Fame. And then just call her Chyna throughout the introduction.
Oh, they wouldn't even use her real name. They would just use Chyna. And
I'm saying, but if you Google Chyna and that's what comes up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying
One Night in China.
Yeah, exactly. But if you just use her real name,
and you stick with that instead of going.
I think you get away with it, and then throughout the presentation, you also known as China,
because they've worked harder.
Formerly known as.
Yeah, they've worked harder to do more to cover up other shit. So.
Oh yeah, yep. I mean, oh my god. All the time.
Kids gotta learn somehow.
So I gotta know, are you stoked for WrestleMania this year?
I'm
pretty fucking stoked. Yeah. The more it moves on.
I feel like I gotta pack a few lunches and some dinners, and like some camping equipment. I'm gonna be in my own home.
I mean, you're not gonna be home for a while because you're gonna be in the Moolah Battle Royal.
Probably.
I think.
I'll be in there. I'll be as a ref and a seamster sewing over here while they're because I like to be right there as like my customers are working and shit.
That's right.
But no, like I know it's hard to say. Like when it comes to WrestleMania, it's what the fuck is all going on? Like there's so much.
I mean, it's more about,
it's hard to remember specifics.
See, the way I think about it, this is why I'm excited this year. You don't think about the matchups, think about the people that are going to be in it. Mm-hmm. So I know I get to see AJ and Nakamura at a WrestleMania. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to see a Braun Strowman. That's amazing.
I'm excited really for that because every week I'm excited for Braun Strowman.
I'm really excited for I love the Usos. Mm-hmm. If I can see Usos now somehow, some way at a WrestleMania, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna.
Yeah, and it just never occurred to me that they haven't been part of WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I think they got so much steam behind them right now.
Yeah. They're the best tag team on the mic, and they well deserve those fucking championships.
Yeah, I agree.
And just their evolution from what they were when they first debuted on Raw with Tamina, and then to now, it's
night and
amazing.
Day.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and the whole drama with
Shane.
Yeah. Like Shane, whatever, tickles his ego all the time, but I get to see Owens and Sami Zayn at a Mania.
Yeah.
It's just
It's most likely going to be...
Nobody's injured yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just looking really good. It's looking like matches are going to be good. Like, I'm just excited. And right now I've always been a really Big E mark. Like, I've always liked him. I loved his NXT run where he's just this unstoppable world champ.
Yeah.
But now it looks like they're trying to give him that little nudge to be himself.
Yeah.
I think he desperately needs to leave the New Day for the world title picture because he's amazing on the mic. He has a strong moveset. He does high-risk shit all the time, and for some reason, he still ain't hurt from doing all those spears through the middle rope and
which is great
out.
that he breaks it out every now and then.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of how safe he can be the times he does
exactly.
it. Exactly. But I think Big E is fucking great.
I think he's so
just
good.
Ideal, and I think he can definitely kind of represent that. Especially every culture feels like they need somebody, to represent them in some way.
Them. Yeah,
so,
I
feel like who better than Big E? Other than Kofi, I think Kofi and Big E, can be really good representatives in that field. But I think Big E definitely at this point, deserves it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I mean, the New Day can continue on with two people.
Yeah.
To be a tag team is fine.
You just need two people.
Yeah. You just need, and they can still run the gimmicks if they want. I personally would love to see New Day turn heel after Big E leave. Because then Big E could be a face by proxy, and then them being healed, they can run amok in the tag division if you keep the Usos face. Yeah. And then you can make them feud again, but this time the roles are reversed. So I just think that would be really awesome.
To see them do something different. I think after Mania, we're bound to see some type of differences between what they decided to do, especially when they do shake up and all that. So see if they decide to do we're only going to take Big E away from you, and two of you are going to stay on SmackDown or whatever.
Why the fuck not?
Instead of just them taking okay, we're going to do the exact same thing we did on SmackDown, but we're going to do it on Raw.
I'm hearing that they're probably going to get rid of the brand split
again.
Coming up, and also, I'm really rumor has it that Neville might come back post Mania. And I'm a huge mark for that guy's work, and especially that last year that he was working he was up there for me. So
I know for a good while, whenever I was looking for matches to watch, I was really looking for a lot of Pac Neville matches on YouTube. Prince Devitt, known as Finn Balor and all that, and who else? I think even trying to some El Generico stuff, and even some Kevin. I almost like Kevin Steen. Try and go with their names from the independents, but they. I was looking for a lot of their stuff, but a lot of Pac and Prince Devitt stuff. I was trying to find. I fucking love what they do and be able to at least see them do a fraction of some of the stuff they did before. I know Neville didn't really hold back all that much, but I think he kind of altered. He altered, but he was still able to maintain himself.
His build and the way he works reminds me the most of you.
Yeah,
at least the way Neville works, because he's really snap in his movements and his high flying shit. When he high flies, it doesn't feel like that's the point of the match.
That's all he does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he hits it, it's just damn. But it wasn't, okay, the bell rang, wins the Hurricane Rana. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't feel that with him.
His when he does his explosive or high flying stuff, it's more of a period or exclamation point versus a comma.
Very well put. It's just guys... When I did the Austin Aries camps, that was a big thing that he says. He was there are too many commas in your sentence when you have too many elbows and too many punches. Yeah. He was you throw too many of those, it fucks your sentence up. The idea is to just fill it when you need it. So, here's an important spot, comma, yada, 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 comma, period. comma, say this, period. Like, it's like a sentence structure. So I always really like that idea.
When you break it down that way, it really kind of helps you put together stuff. And I'm a big fan of kind of breaking up matches in a very specific way to where like we're not doing too much of certain things and we really build on certain things. When we do stuff, it really matters. So when we are just throwing back and forth forearms, it means something because that is our opportunity to explode and show emotion.
Those are the exclamation points. Those are the periods. Like I like that. So also and now with the way the cruiserweight division has been going with the tournament, and then to have the match be at WrestleMania, I'm already stoked for.
Yeah. The matches that you have in tournament style wise is really bringing back the classic that they were doing, and it's really cool because you're just allowing them to have really awesome matches.
Exactly.
And like I didn't really expect this much great stuff from like even Buddy Murphy. Like he's really good.
Bruh. Like, bro. Like, after I saw the two matches that Buddy Murphy's had, I was like, I see you. I'm like, all right, my guy. Like, his finish was the shit. I was like, I ain't never seen some shit like that before. I was really stoked to see that.
I think I saw part of it, and I was like, that looks like one of my moves. At least the way he twists his body and whatever.
Could very well be. I just never seen it on main TV, never on the E. So I was just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, he's really good. And it's like, I think just because I've seen so much of like Mustafa Ali and like just like, the main staples, like I really kind of wish like they would let like I'm a little bit more like I'm a little biased because Arya's my dude. But I would just love to see more of him instead of just like
I'm worried about it for him because I think saying we're throwing out the gimmicks for the cruiserweight tournament, this is about real wrestling, is it hurts it more than they think they help it. I get that it was gimmick driven in the beginning, and that's not necessarily the way you want to go because cruiserweights are supposed to be in high action. But gimmicks are still going to be what drives a character. Gallagher was smart because he still drives forward his character, and but he's not wrestling in a suit. But someone like Drew Gulak, whose gimmick drove him, I think it's gonna hurt him. Even though I still like him,
I think he's just playing like a really good villain, and I see him being in the final.
I do too.
Him being in the final, and who the fuck else?
A clashing style of some kind.
Yeah, because it has to be a good contrast. It can't be just two big high flyers. There has to be a match in there. And it's not just going to be a spectacle. It's just going to be a great match. It just happens. It's not going to be a cruiserweight match. It's going to be a great match that happens to have cruiserweights in it. That's what we need.
And I agree. But the stay off the top rope gimmick I thought was great. I thought it was good. But Arya needs. I'm not saying he needs a gimmick, but he needs a gimmick. Because that's the only way. There's nothing about him that's gonna get him to break the ceiling other than a gimmick and telling stories, right? Because he's not covered head to toe in tattoos. He doesn't wear a lucha mask. He's not running out in a fucking cape. You know what I mean? Like, if he's just a shit talking heel, then he's just gonna be a low tier, low card. And on Cruiser on 205, you can't afford that. So I really like the idea of him just being a rich prick. Like, that could have gone really far. But right now, they're steering away from the fucking gimmick heavy shit. So now I'm just like,
so it's like there's not really any space for him right now. He's just kind of lingering. Especially when I know for a fact that like they don't really take part in house shows unless they're the main guys. So it's like he's not doing anything, and I feel bad for him. It's like I know him very well. Him and I are very similar, where we want to just wrestle. We want to wrestle, and we want to do everything around it really well, and we want to have the chance to do it. But if they're not letting you, if you're on 205 and it's like, you're not in house shows, you're not in anything on NXT, you don't even get to work out at the Performance Center, and it's like you're just contracted, you can't do anything, and that's where I fucking feel bad. I'm like, fuck, I know what he wants to do and he can't fucking do it.
I mean, only time will tell. I'm hoping that after Mania, they start making it more, putting the variety back in. Yeah. Because really, this tournament is just to emphasize the Mania draw, right? Yeah. Is to make sure you guys watch the show to see the culmination of the two best cruiserweights.
Please don't say culmination. I'm so tired.
Just for, the two best guys to go in a match at Mania. I get it.
All this fucking pointing at the sign and culminate at Wrestle.
Yeah, good point.
It's all is. Oh my god, I have no words. It's too much.
Oh, and then we got Ronda too, which I'm excited to see because no matter how her mic shit is, which isn't good, but
it's not
yet. But people,
she hasn't really transformed yet,
and people don't. I think people are hard. Of course, people are going to be hard on her, but she is legitimately like green. She is fucking green. You know what I mean? So this business, because
she's not building to anything other. They're just like, she doesn't want to be given anything, but she's being given everything.
Yeah. And I think when it comes down to the calling the matches and getting physical and doing the executions, I think the shit's gonna look great. Just by like all the highlight stuff and the way she moves. And since she's so proficient in judo, it's the best thing to know. I personally think in pro wrestling, if you had to know one skill, because judo forces body weight over, and you can bump a guy without having him sandbag you. Right? Like, that's the point. So she can literally work a match with a dead body.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. So I think she's going to impress a lot of people physically. And that's all. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I think Asuka and Charlotte should be really
fun to watch. Asuka and Charlotte.
I'm not really sure what to expect with Alexa unless they threw in a multi-woman match just to get more. But they're already gonna have the Battle Royal, so it's like we'll see what they do with that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think as much as I barely care about like anything really involving Brock Lesnar much. Like
it's getting sad now.
It just seems kind of like I dig the idea of the whole like breaking the fourth wall type stuff. I always like that stuff when you do it every now and then.
Now they kind of have to.
Yeah,
because
it seems silly when like and everyone says it. It's like Brock that Roman Reigns is saying like, oh, because Brock Lesnar's Vince McMahon's boy, and it's like, dude, you're his boy.
Yeah. Well, that and he's like, oh, if we get if we get in trouble, we get fined, I show up the next night. Except that one time I got busted for drugs.
Yeah. It's just like he's all over this drug thing, and it's like they're not doing anything about it. If he was like a mid-carder, they would fucking have like just said, you'll be suspended for now until we find out more information.
It's all awesome. It's just the wrong guy talking the shit.
Yeah. You expect this from CM Punk.
Yeah, you expect it.
Which I'm not the first person to say that, but you expect that from a CM Punk.
Yeah, exactly. But also, you'd expect it from anybody other than Roman at the same time. If anybody else were to come out and say that shit, I would have been like, "Yup, fuck." If Neville would have come out and said that, I would have been like, "Yeah." But because you can't use a guy who's literally catered to by the company to talk shit about a guy who's catered to by the company.
Yeah.
It's just two catered motherfuckers battling it out in a battle of shoots.
Yeah.
But, either way, it is what it is, and it's just going to happen. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's everything else that's got me excited. Lesnar was my dude for years, but now it's just... lose the title. I'm over it. Give it to Braun. That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, just hurry up and give it to Braun.
Give it to somebody who actually wants to represent the company.
And Braun is so fucking over. He might as well have the belt tattooed on him right now. He's the only guy who can work comedy segments, serious segments, and then mixed tag match segments and be over in all 3 facets.
Yep. We got them in every fucking hour. But yeah. No, like I guess I'm excited for some of the matches, some of the moments that can take place. The Ronda stuff doesn't really interest me all that much, really.
Yeah.
She's not really relevant to me, and I've never really cared. I'm just more curious. It's like, okay, let's see what she can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that she was undefeated for so long.
Yeah.
She was the best women's fighter in the world. She got so much heat. She beat every bitch the same way. People hated her. She was like the New England Patriots of fighters, So to see her in a WWE ring, I really wanted to translate well because she's a mark for the business, unlike a Lesnar. Mm-hmm. Who was never really about the business. No. Right?
He just happens to be a natural athlete.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas she is both. So if this works out, I want to see how far she can take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my stance.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And hungry.
Yeah, we got to get some food. So everyone, thank you for joining us on this 50th episode and our 1-year anniversary of the Break Knyte podcast. I am Craven Knight of Break Knyte Creative. This is Sean. Iredale, Slade,
Sean, Iredale, Theodore, Logan.
Yes.
I mean, what is this? What is this? Our what? This is our 50th.
This is our 50th.
This is
this is the 50th episode. Yeah.
That's right.
Ending on 150. If we go on for 45 more seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, it's a 50th episode, 1 year.
So, this goes out to all my Buffalo Bills out there who like to dance with their stuff tucked between their legs. I like to bid you all adieu. This is one of my favorite tunes. This one's called Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus. I hope you learn to join us again in the future, where we will tell you more about wrestling gear, sex, toys, rock and roll, and creative content. This is your DJ, Sean Slade. Out.
Peace, love, and chicken grease. We're out.